Hello and welcome back to Lee's Listers. So I don't know where this video is going to quite fit in, if it'll tag on to the end of another one or if it's start of a fresh video, but just a bit of an update on the TM. So the last video, the crank, I'd just taken out the engine block and it still had the flywheel and pulley on. As you can see, the flywheel's off, and you'll also notice in the back corner there's some more. So since that video that ended, a bit of disaster happened. So move this out here, you'll see that that flywheel got damaged. So it got dropped. Now, could have easily been avoided, but it's happened. So, but luckily, it's only a flywheel. It's a part I can get again. Hence why in the back corner there's three. So there's this one and then three. Luckily, I went to Newnan a couple of weeks ago and I put a wanted ad out on a Facebook group. And a nice chap come up and said, I've got two flywheels. So I managed to get a pair of original flywheels. Granted, they're not off a twin. They are off a single cylinder. The only difference between a twin and a single is the counterweights. So this flywheel has no counterweights ground into it, cast into it, sorry, where they do. So my plan is to grind it off and then paint it, needle gun it up to make it look old as though it's never been there. The other saving grace is that actually on these flywheels they are that badly pitted. Particularly this one, you can't see the engine number, so they're nearly practically identical in condition wise, and the three stacked up together when they was on the trailer. When I've washed this, like, apart from looking for the weight, you can't tell the difference between an original flywheel and one off a single. So it's not ideal. I could have done without to happen. It's more work, but I'll get around it. It could have been a damn sight worse. It could have been cranks got bent. Could have been the pulley, because I can't get another pulley. That is a unique part. It could have been part of the block that's got damaged. It could be the vaporizer which is on the bench. It could have been something a lot more serious than a flywheel, but it's happened. I can't do nothing about it. I'm just gonna have to get around it and crack on with the restoration. So that's that bit out of the way. It's broken, it's damaged. I'm not going to scrap it, I'm going to keep it, and if I ever do think of a way, find a way at some point to repair it, say to stick this bit back on, which is off the rim, I will do. If I can never find a way, I'll keep it as a garden ornament to remind me of what's happened. Quick interruption. Thank you for watching this far, and thank you to all those who have already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe below. It would help the channel grow massively. Now back to the video. So just to flip you around, show you what I've done. So the heads are off. Took them to work yesterday, in fact, which was Saturday. I'm filming this on a Sunday. I was hoping to have it all laid out on the drive to show, because it was nice this morning, but it's been raining again. The vaporizer, it's cleaned up quite nice. It looks like this as well. Instead of being the mesh, this has a breather which slides up and down. So it's still seized. I can't get in there to look yet, so that will be a lump that will get completely stripped. And I've also a pipe for my RH, because I'm going to put that back to a swept exhaust. So it's another day. We'll look at that. The twin block. So in here, it was absolutely filthy. It's not absolutely perfect. I've still got some cleaning to do. Bit of water to clean up from yesterday. But what did surprise me is it's a phenomenal piece of casting. So there's a well cast in here. Oh, cast in here that has a hole through under there. That's weld all the way through into there. There's a well here for the gear to sit in. These troughs at the big end sitting are completely suspended. There's the centre bearing housing. It is just a casting masterpiece. How they have managed to cast that and then machine it all up is absolutely beyond me. So you can see there's a nice bit of original paint on it, bit of boiled linseed oil to come up nice. Then here's the tubs of bits. So this one without the yellow tag, because I put a cable tie on, YLL for left for piston number 2, so that's set number 1. So it's mainly piston and gear and conrod, and then that's the piston number 2 side. 3 flywheels. Someone gave me a fuel tank, which is a bit early, so my plan is for that to sweat all the fittings off and then reuse them for another job. Then the crankshaft, which looks like it's at a straight 180 degree turn. So yeah, that's the twin, all completely stripped, ready to start bolting back together. So what I'll probably do first, I'm going to clean the crank. So if you look in here, that's still oil in the corners there and a bit there. Let's say under there, back in there there's some. But I mean, this bottom here is about 1/2 inch thick in both these. I didn't know this well was as wide as what it was, because the gear had basically worn a groove at this side in the muck. So I only thought the well was basically as wide as the gear at this end, but actually it's a lot wider. So get a little brake cleaner in there, clean all this out in here, tidy it all up. I freed this off as well. Stuck again. I mean, in the bottom of there's like a little reservoir, a little raised bit, so that muck doesn't actually get in. I need to figure out where it goes through there, because when I was washing it off, basically the water coming off out of here but nothing out here, so I don't know if it goes into there and turns a 90, but that looks like some sort of filter's the wrong word, but sort of pre-well, that the oil muck and bits sit round that, and then the clean oil overflows there straight into the pump. Yeah, but I mean, I have a couple of jobs to do on here. I have a stud there, which focus again. Stud there that needs sorting. Try my pliers, if not I'll weld a nut on top of it and do it that way. And then there's 2 down here which is also broken as well, and there's a couple on the cylinder head. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it put back together. Bit of cleaning first and a bit drying, because earlier on it bloody rained, so everything got wet again, even though it was bloody clean and dry. So next video I'll probably be fettling these few of these studs, cleaning up, ready for, oh, this has still got to be freed off, governor linkage. I mean, that one there is very, very tight, but that's still seized. Oh, it's gone. Oh, look at that. Anyway, that one's freeing off. Also, I don't think it should somehow as well quite unwind like that. So that probably wants knocking out. Looks like that. I don't know quite how that goes. So the screwdriver head. If you one of them, I'll probably put a touch of Loctite on when I put that back in. We can get that peg out, just so it doesn't wind out when it's getting used. Go in there. Yeah, that's the plan. So keep tuned for what's going on. Right, that's the block all cleaned out. Looking much tidier. You can see 2 little wells underneath, and then the trough in the bottom there. It all drains into up there. Won't really focus. So yeah, that's the block done. So I'll just get a few of the surfaces like the cam inlet around the thing of scrape, around the tops of here, and then I'll try and get the broken studs out before I start a bit of reassembly.
Oh, and don't worry, it will be getting blown out with the compressor before I start putting it back together. I'm just going to blow all this stuff into the bottom and then not do nothing about it.
What I would normally do if this engine wasn't so original is just get wire wheel out, buzz all over this with wire wheel and grinder or drill. But there's a lot of paint. I'm just having to try and be somewhat careful. Just scrape off only what's needed. Broken stud there as well, I noticed. That one's going to be fun because that one's broken off flush. That's got one in. Yeah, it has got one in.
So just put in there.
Just get a little wire brush as well. That one in there isn't great. Most of this will get, I'll do all this again with a wire brush on this. Give them all the polish up, but this stickiness is off everything. So after the pressures the last time of breaking some studs, I thought I'd just crack on and look at this beauty. First time ever with a bit of success with an easy out. So that's that one out. That one, because it was poking out, it was just like a bit like that. Braid top of it with the air hammer. Then got my parrot nose pliers, which I've shown you before in a previous video. Just wound it out. I've done exactly the same with them two. So nice little bit of success there, particularly getting that bad boy out. I only use a cheap set of left-handed bits. So yeah, absolutely chuffed with that. So now, got all these bloody bits of iron filings everywhere. Gear blowout. I just razzed the die grinder and a wire wheel over these because I wanted to polish this up. I wanted to make sure oil flows back into there right. So, but now it's all full of bloody iron filings from drilling this out, so give it another blow off, and then I think time to put some bearings in. I think, yeah, just show the 4 studs. So that's one I drilled out the easy out, it's got the hole in it. These ones, you look how they're mushroomed. Just bray the hell out of them with a air hammer, shocks them, gives a nice flat chunky surface as well for pliers to grip onto. That's them. So the blue point pliers, can't remember the bloody number of them, but they're great. So what happens is when you latch on, you push only with one side, so usually this side, and they just hook on really tight. So I would recommend them to anybody. If you just, I think that's the part number there, but yeah, just eBay or ask your local snap-on man for blue point parrot nose pliers. That's what pops up. Use them all the bloody time. Brilliant bit of kit.
That's a bit I missed.
Right, so now all it's blown out and clean. Move my box of bits, bearings, clean them, drop them in, and slide crank back in next.